I'm getting triggered. Hello and welcome to the 39th episode of the Unnamed Political Podcast. As you can see, there's one topic that's really going to take the focus of this episode.
Heavy and depth. We'll definitely talk about this as the highlight of the episode for sure.
Yes. So, for those of you who, I can't even say if you're living under a rock, for those of you who have woken up out of a coma got hit by a rock in 2012, this is America now.
Yep.
And,
I like it.
Yeah. I need to address this to the people. I could not have been more wrong. If you were able to see
I could not have been more right.
No, you were. You thought he was going to win Virginia.
Oh, that's a good point. That's the one thing I got wrong. But everything else,
but you got the
too.
winner right, and that's more important.
That is
so,
more important for sure.
Please, continue to watch us. We will still give you our amazing opinions, just not our prophecies. Jack might. He's going to be our official oracle now.
Yeah, I can see the future.
Yes. I still feel, I think I'm finally...
It's crazy, right?
I'm finally getting into normalcy, but for the first couple of days, I was watching the news, and I'm just like, this cannot be real.
Put this down.
This feels, yeah.
I need to hold it up for the whole episode.
Put that
I
up.
get oriented like that.
Yeah, who cares about keeping calm and carrying on? We got Trump.
We got President Trump now. I can keep calm all I want. All right.
But I mean, I didn't feel like it was real. No. I thought I was watching
well, when we did our live stream,
yeah.
for those who watched.
Yes, for those who didn't, it's on.
It was
still
massively,
watchable on Facebook.
You can still watch it. It was massively successful.
Fantastic.
130 plus views. It was
Best.
amazing. So we got a lot of love on that sort of episode, and then we're back here. But when we were watching the election coverage and we were just watching what was going on, it seemed quite unlikely that he could pull it off at that time. But when I went home,
it was
exactly.
We ended at the exact wrong time. We probably ended on the last
around 10
minutes of a Clinton victory.
And once it hit 10:30, 11, then the whole dynamic shift. And you can see they had a New York Times presidential tracker.
Oh, yeah.
It went like this, intersection immediately.
It was the same with 538. The night started with, I think he had a 25% chance of winning, and at 11 o'clock, I think it was roughly close to 84 or even in the 90s.
Yeah, he died a big dub. Yep.
And so we didn't exactly have a ton of time to plan for this, but do you want to address people's reactions first or the political implications?
The reactions would be a good way to start, and the implications after, for sure.
So, to all of our liberal viewers, seek help. This is not the end.
It's definitely not the end.
You have so much to live for. Think of the children, please.
You have a nice, prosperous life ahead of you, perhaps.
Yeah, and even if you're an older liberal viewer, please do not. This is I don't know. We might, if we can, we'll put the suicide hotline number down there for you. So,
that's your editing, not mine.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I don't think we know how to. But find what your suicide hotline number is.
Is it a national hotline? No.
I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever state you're in.
Yeah.
Figure out who to contact.
Yeah, it was an interesting election to watch for sure.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
But she lost simply because people wanted real palpable change, and they were not going to get it with her.
I think
people say I'm with her, and she was very conservative.
So let's go. Let's talk about why it happened, then the reaction from this.
Perfect.
Well, I think, and there was even a joke about that on Saturday Night Live, where you can either vote for the Republican or for Trump. But I will say this: she was not the conservative option for anybody.
No, she wasn't.
The conservative option, I would say, was definitely it was Evan McMullin.
Well,
if you want to do a conservative option,
if you want to
Trump,
play a major option,
I would say Trump was a centrist. I think Trump is a centrist.
I don't think so. I think
that's been our biggest criticism.
He's fringe on some issues. I think. Well, you could also bring in the implication that he's incredibly authoritarian, but I would
authoritarian.
Some people think he is.
A lot of people think he's very authoritarian.
That's why people have beef with him as conservative.
Well, I think that's why libertarian.
He's not really a moderate.
Well, no, I'm not saying that he's a... Well, I could argue that I think he is on many issues.
I'd say Hillary's a moderate.
On gay marriage, I would say Hillary... in comparison to Bernie, she's definitely a moderate.
Yeah.
And on things like foreign policy, she does have kind of a neocon foreign policy.
She's right-wing. Yeah, no, I agree. She's kind of a warmonger and a war hawk.
Well, I disagree, because I feel like, yes, she is...
Well, she wanted the Iraq War.
But she also has shown examples of continuing the Obama administration where America just puts itself in a position of weakness, and we're fine with that. And then to try to regain that, we resort to violence, and that's just a terrible self-perpetuating system.
And it doesn't work.
With Iran. where
she definitely has neocon genes in her system.
Yes, but when you look at Iran, it's something that they kept praising throughout the deal. But the thing is, it shouldn't be celebrated. They're like, oh yeah, we stopped them from getting a bomb, right, for 10 years, and then you guarantee they have a bomb in 10 years.
That was a failure for policy in itself. The whole Iran deal. I think Trump offers. He's definitely more liberal in some areas compared to other candidates at the time or in the past, like George Bush. But I mean, that was 10 years ago, so you can't really compare it now. But he's definitely moderate on some issues. But I think on some other issues, he's more conservative than any other candidates, like immigration.
I think like Ted Cruz would probably be the most conservative.
Yes, for the most part. Overall, I'd say he's the most conservative, even in like Congress. He's definitely the most conservative candidate for sure.
And so we might be splitting this up in episodes because this is probably going to go on for a while.
This is going to be a little long episode.
Granted, so did the election, so cut us some slack.
Coverage ran till I watched till 3, and it still wasn't.
Oh yeah, I watched till I think I went to bed at 4 in the morning. Bear in mind, ruined me for the rest of the week because I got terribly sick. But
I watched MSNBC's coverage.
I'd say it was worth it because at 10 o'clock, if you watch our live stream, I don't know if you can see it in my face, but there were literally moments when for a second there, I'm thinking well, what if he wins? And I was like, no, that's completely impossible. I wasn't even going to let myself begin.
Well, it just shows how the pollsters were wrong.
Yeah,
going into it because they had Trump winning losing in Wisconsin by 6 points, I think it was.
Well, yeah,
which is absolutely unprecedented, and he won by 1. Pennsylvania, same deal. He was supposed to lose by 5, won by 1.
Crazy. I think this is
winning states that not since Ronald Reagan won.
Oh yeah,
Wisconsin in particular hasn't been won since 1984.
And obviously, but for the most part, we saw the blue firewalls hold up in certain blue firewalls, but the one that mattered was the Rust Belt, and it got blown to
Trump's way. Yeah, I was surprised. I was thinking maybe he'll clinch 270 something electoral votes max, but when he got 300. I was like, geez. That's how many Hillary Clinton was supposed to get.
That's what we said. We said this before, and we said this in all of our things leading up to this. Hillary can win in any number of ways, but the only way Trump wins is by just barely making it to 270.
But it was not barely.
And he got numbers that we haven't seen since Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, not even George Bush got those numbers.
HW?
No, W.
W did not have those high. No, because W. Yeah.
The highest he got was in 2004, probably like 280, around there.
Actually, wouldn't have been. Well, yeah, 2004. Because 2000, he just.
2000, he got like 270 votes, something like that.
I think 272.
Yeah, it was higher than 270, but he barely clinched the mark on that one.
Oh yeah, and that was a huge controversy. But I mean, this is crazy, and I don't mean
he
that.
He still won the popular vote, or he still lost the popular vote, but still.
Well, technically, it's still in counting, but it is extremely likely that he has lost the vote by a significant number.
Which is another reason that people want to get rid of the whole electoral college.
Yeah, I think. Well. I think it's hypocrisy on both sides. I think we would completely see if Hillary had won that way. The first thing liberals would say is well, haha, this is payback for 2000.
Right.
Suck on it. So I think it is both sides are going to favor whatever they think benefits them. And so I think that there's definitely going to be a push, but because we have not seen Republican dominance like this since the Roaring 20s, it's not going to happen for quite a while.
No.
But I think this does officially signal the beginning of the end for the Electoral College. Excuse me.
Big Trump victory. So he's the 45th president-elect of the United States.
Yeah.
He will be inaugurated on January something, probably, I think it was 18th, 2017.
I thought it was the 20th normally.
Oh, whatever it is. For some reason it was on Martin Luther King Day a couple years ago. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's on like a Sunday, they switch it around.
Yes, so he'll be inaugurated. Hopefully nothing can go wrong.
I think his odds of having somebody taking a pot shot at him are higher than any other presidential elect possibly ever, and that is including the massive amount of or just racism that we saw when President Obama got elected. I feel like this is even more intense because even when President Obama was elected... I
think in 2000 it was also just the tensions were just as high.
There was
the whole deal.
Well, yeah, but you didn't have as much time because Bush wasn't declared president-elect until late December.
So. Right, because they had the whole deal, but I think the intention is almost as high. But I think in recent history has definitely been the most controversial election of our lifetime, for sure.
And I think even in 2008 it was a completely different world. There was still, obviously you have the complete racist, but there was still some respect from both sides where it's okay, I get it, we lost, but I wish him the best of luck, and I wish that we could see that here.
Yeah.
And so before we get to the civility, So what do you think we'll just try to summarize this quickly, and I might run up quickly just to check how much time we have left.
Go ahead.
But what do you think was the number one or top three reasons why Hillary lost the election, and vice versa why Trump won?
I think Trump definitely won because he offered change, like I mentioned before.
Okay, we're already at 15. So.
Okay, we're good. We'll keep time management going.
Yeah, but we'll cut out a little bit.
So, back to what I was saying. Hillary Clinton lost because she was continuing the legacy of Obama, offered no real change when Obama ran, and Obama was a lot more charismatic. Like
by far.
a 40-year-old black dude versus a 70-year-old white woman. Take your choose. Take your pick. I don't know. Just based off that alone, that courted many more people to go to that side, Donald Trump's side, than her. And then another whole thing is that, like I mentioned before, the change is definitely a big deal. Donald Trump offered real change. Good change or bad change, that's a debate on its own. That's a debate on its own. And I think another reason would probably be because people are just tired, and obviously the current administration for some people was not working, and they looked for someone else to lift them up. Is it Donald Trump? Maybe. I don't know. But people certainly did not think it was Hillary Clinton. And the electoral gains for Trump prove
are massive. Like, if you thought Romney had a good winning strategy in 2012,
no.
I mean, this completely changes the face of political history. Like, if there is one political event that we are going to tell our children about and our grandchildren,
it's this one.
It is this election. This
or
is
2020. Who knows?
Yeah, well, and we can get to 2020 because, I think I agree with your points. I think you ultimately saw pollsters, people were way too confident in Hillary, and people just didn't take Trump seriously.
Right, and they don't really account for what people, when polls, they don't really account for what people think. They just say, they ask you, oh, what are your positions in the election, who are you going to vote for, who are you going to vote for? And some people are just too afraid to admit who they're actually going to vote for. And I think it's played to Trump's hand, and I think they even... the variable of not really a closeted Trump voter base definitely appealed, and it was definitely seen on election day.
I think you did see a silent majority of Americans come up.
And rural voters, I think they talked about that. Rural voters had really high turnout.
They got people motivated. I think with Romney, the problem was, I think there are a couple of factors. He didn't, regardless of the fact that Trump is much richer than Romney, Romney had much more of the stigma of a rich guy than Trump does.
Romney's not charismatic either.
I think it was a couple of things. I think one, Romney...
He can't get a rally going. When you go
to
a Trump rally...
Get a rally going. Like, Trump was really able to get there. And I think he's changed a lot of things. Because, like, Romney, he had issues with the Republican Party because of his faith. That was a big thing that other fellow Republicans criticized him on, a lot of the evangelicals. But with Trump, he was in the exact same situation. Or not even that. He was in a much worse situation, but he was still able to turn it around. And... this is another video unto itself, just every one of these things, I think
he can slide everything off.
Nothing has stuck to this guy.
Yeah.
The most we saw was the Khan controversy, and that lasted for a couple of weeks, and then
the Trump tapes.
He's back in the Trump tapes.
That was definitely
why they waited, or why they didn't wait until
the week before
election. That would have destroyed him.
For sure, 100% for sure. He would have gotten blown out of the water.
So yeah, Washington Times, or Washington Post.
You
shanked it.
Yeah.
All right. And so now let's move on to, and we will try to, if we can, address these topics in even greater detail, if the demand calls for it. But now let's talk about people's reactions, which I said this before in previous episodes. They completely exceeded my entertainment value predictions.
They certainly did, yeah.
But they're getting to the point where it's a little concerning.
A little scary.
Yeah. So let's just say here's some of the things that I have from various media sources have heard with regards to the election. That this shows that America is a terrible country, that white people have ruined this, that if the system worked, Trump never would have gotten near the amount of electoral votes. White people have ruined this country. We have elected Hitler.
Oh, my God.
That this was a social 9/11, which...
11/9.
That is, in my opinion, probably one of the most disgusting things I've heard about this. That on CNN there was an op-ed where somebody was saying, I have found inspiration through these past couple of days by reading this book, and it's about a family surviving occupation by the Nazis in France in 1940.
The fear is not real. It's not legitimate.
This is completely
There's nothing to be
ridiculous.
afraid of.
My gosh.
I wouldn't be afraid of getting all my rights taken away under a Hillary Clinton administration.
Yeah, well, and this is completely insane. And that's one of the things we've talked about. Trump is a moderate on social issues, so why people are saying that this is the end, I think this is entirely
All our
liberal.
liberties are going to be taken.
Oh, I think liberals, so the media just were not prepared for this, and are now immediately responding with, like, this has been a hostile takeover by a foreign power. When it hasn't. This was the voice of the people. You keep hearing things like, what went wrong and did this. Nothing went wrong. The system worked perfectly.
Everything went right.
Yeah, everything went right for one guy.
Man, yeah, half the country voted for him.
But I think the fact that we're seeing this, and I'm not saying that Republicans and conservatives are good on this. There would most certainly have been protests for Hillary, but the fact is, Republicans aren't the ones.
Actually, I think the protests against Hillary would have been a lot more violent, to be quite honest with you.
Just
with the passion and the drive.
I think with things I've said, I think the majority of Trump voters, there would have been less people protesting, but the people who protested would have been a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, there would have been a lot of violence.
And and that is completely justifiable. But the point, and there was stuff after Obama got elected, but that was much more fringe groups. But the point remains, it's not Republicans who are in the street protesting. It's not Republicans who are calling this the worst event in our nation's history since 9/11, and in some cases the worst event ever. This is
crazy,
completely
ridiculous,
insane, and we've even seen it back home in some cases.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some talk.
Yes.
Some protests. I'm still with her.
I'm
still with her. Like, it's ridiculous.
Whose voice is that?
I actually don't. Wait, I'm still with her.
Was that Bill?
No,
she don't.
I'm trying to think of who that even is.
I'm not with her, but I'm with her, and her, and her, and her, and her daughter.
I'll be with everyone if I can.
Just not her.
Yeah, it's not the one.
I've been stuck with her for 40 years. I gotta spread out.
Cigar.
This is a children's show.
That's a story for another time.
This is a children's show.
We'll have some campfire stories.
But I think the amount of bile we've seen directed at Trump is terrible, because the problem is, and we've seen this before, when people are saying, I hope he fails, I hope he has some cataclysmic event, that's like saying when you're on an airplane and you hope the pilot has a heart attack.
I hope he crash.
I'm completely ripping this off from a tweet, but the point is extremely accurate. Look, I get you don't like him, and I get that you should protest him, and Republicans did the same thing when Obama was elected, but the majority of Republicans and
I think it'll die down, though. And it definitely was not on this scale, the protests, but I think they'll definitely die down over the next couple days. It's
the protests, I think, weren't as big.
Or just the tension.
I think they've been a little blown out of proportion, definitely. But the fact that we've seen such a widespread scale, and the fact that there were sit-ins at a school near us, there's counseling offered for people who are going through traumatic times for this. This is...
We're all Americans. We need to come together.
Yes.
We are not Republican or Democrat. We are not left or right. We are together.
Yes, we are
inspirational. We are purple, yeah. If you want to be, we can be purple.
Well, you know, red, blue.
I'd rather just be red.
Red-blooded Americans. But, and we understand that there are concerns that people in certain communities have, but the thing is, Trump hasn't taken office yet.
Right.
And ultimately, there is a system of checks and balances. And clearly, liberals, this is their rallying call. They're like, we got to get back in 2018. But even then, I think I would just kind of, in closing for this, just to some of the stories that we've seen with people like Samantha Bee and John Oliver and Bill Maher. Just with those types of people.
Samantha Bee, she has no credibility at all. I don't watch her because honestly, I just know what I'm going into watching her episodes. I stopped watching John Oliver.
I watched the post-election coverage because
I watched John Oliver's reaction. It's pretty funny.
Well, yeah, but when you're seeing something like that where they're telling them, like, this is terrible, this is wrong, this is not
it's an
right.
injustice.
Yeah.
A terrible injustice amongst our nation. Actually, I started doing that impression more. It actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that was solid.
Alright, I don't even know who it is.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean,
it actually sounds pretty solid.
Yeah, so the triggering has intensified. And it's probably going to keep intensifying. And like in that, we probably just alienated every one of the left-leaning people who we know.
Or who watch this show.
Yeah, if you are watching this and you are left-leaning, know that...
You watched the wrong show. Like, go watch Samantha Bee.
Oh, come on, we gotta be inclusive, man.
Go watch Trevor Noah or whatever.
We are not criticizing you, we are criticizing the people who are being pretty extreme. We can understand if you're sad or you're bummed. I would have been bummed if Hill Dog won.
I would have been pretty bummed.
Yeah, but I would
There's
not...
Bill Clinton coming back.
But I would not be going into the streets, and obviously the people who we personally know, if anybody's watching this, you are not going in the streets, I hope.
I'm not going in the streets. I have no reason to go in the streets.
Oh, I feel like you'd go in the streets just to celebrate, just stop cars.
Celebrate good times. Obama! That's a reference.
Yeah, reference from the same show. All right, and lastly, I'm going to check the time. But for our final portion of this, what does this mean politically? We have Trump's cabinet still being decided, and a lot of people said, I'm going to vote for Trump because I don't like him, but I think he'll surround himself with smart people, and I really hate Hillary. We're finally starting to figure out who these supposedly smart people are.
Right.
And for the most part, I will say I am not disappointed, but I'm not impressed.
Well, didn't someone say Sarah Palin was having a cabinet position?
Alright, hi, we're back. We're sorry, our camera ran out of battery, and so we had to quickly grab some. And in that time, we unfortunately found out we have to cut this episode a little bit short. Yeah. And so we just say with regards to, I'm not sure how much was still caught on the end, but we were starting to talk about Trump's cabinet and the political impacts of that. Hopefully we'll be able to address that in a future episode very shortly.
Sure. We'll focus on it.
We just unfortunately don't have time at the moment. We just didn't want to end the episode on a odd note. But this has been a very exciting election. It's a very exciting time to be alive right now. And we intend to continue to give you our best analysis of the situation.
Our best coverage.
Yeah. So we continue to keep filming. We may have Chairman Mao on in the near future, just to lighten the burden that so many people found.
It doesn't matter. We figure it out.
Extreme left-leaning groups have still survived, such as Chairman Mao's branch of...
Chairman Mao's interesting ideology.
Yes. Don't worry. The world is not over. The world will keep spinning, and Trump is going to be president in that world. You got to get used to it, guys.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. Sorry. And, yeah, I guess that covers it. All right. We will see you in the next episode. I'm Clark Wahlberger.
I'm Jack Orbath.
See you next time.
Adios.